My queens, my loves, the only dose of refuses to be categorized a podcast. Oh, my treasures, how are you all? I have been thinking of you all. I am just recovering it really and coming back to earth after just had the most intense and beautiful time at the Heart-Centered Business Conference here in Noosa. It's been a long time since I've been to a conference. The last one I went to was 2018, and it was Gary Vaynerchuk in a Success Resources conference, and it fucking sucked. It sucked, the big one, and I hated it so much that I just rage tweeted through the whole fucking thing and then wrote a scathing blog post about it because it was just so unethical and bullshit, and oh my god, I can't even cope. And an absolute dick fest too. Like, the lack of diversity was beyond. It was just so little content and so much selling. And so after that I was like, I don't want to go to another conference again anytime soon. And when I started looking around for, I knew I still wanted to learn and be educated and, connect with people. But I didn't want it like that. So I was looking for something that was, women-centered, intersectional, diverse, lots of content and no selling from the stage. And I had a bunch of people recommend to me at the time Heart-Centered Business Conference that Tash Corbin was running, and at the time I didn't know Tash. I knew of her, but we hadn't connected yet. So I bought tickets to that back in 2019 for the 2020 conference, and then who would have thought it, COVID hit, and then in the meantime as well, Tash ended up moving near to where I live. We connected in person, we fell in love. It was just instant besties, business besties, and we started our local mastermind as well, which has just been so beautiful and powerful. And then conference, it had to be rescheduled a few times because of COVID outbreaks, and we live in Queensland, so our restrictions were a lot higher than other places. It finally fucking happened, guys. I got to go to this conference, and because we'd met in the meantime, I'd said to her, look, if you want any speakers or anything, I'm happy to speak. She took me up on the offer, so I got to speak there as well. And it was just a real joy to be around people again. It also was confusing as fuck because I feel like an unsocialized dog at this point. Just like, I'm supposed to, how do conversations happen? Oh, holy smokes. So there was a little bit of that. But it ended up being magic, just absolute magic. It was a real joy to be up on stage, and it was also just an enormous joy to be in the room, and especially so cool because some of my oldest and most favourite friends in the online world were there as well. So I got to hang out with Kerry Rowett and Denise Duffield-Thomas and Victoria Gibson, and I've known these chicks for 10 plus years. Kerry said she actually took my very first e-course. That was 2008. Oh my god. I've met Denise and Kerry in person before, but hadn't seen them in just absolute fucking years. So it was such a blessing to get to spend time with them. And also, I've been honest about how vulnerable and raw I've been feeling lately, and gosh, being around them was just hugely healing because I got to share about what I was going through, and then they share about their stuff, and I just felt so much less alone in it, and so comforted by that. It was, holy shit, it was divine. It really was. I feel just super lucky, and I feel so proud of Tash for pulling it off. She is absolutely in her element. when she's running events. She is the conference goddess, and her partner Davey was there as well, and he just holds the space so brilliantly, and I'm so in awe of the two of them, of what they've created. It was an absolutely divine event, and the speakers were friggin' top notch. Natasha Bamblett was the first speaker, and she did a First Nations welcoming ceremony, and holy shit, it was so powerful. I just sobbed my way through it. I was genuinely sobbed. I just felt so raw and touched from it. And Louise O'Reilly, who is First Nations from over in Perth, she did a segment on inclusive business as well. And I've done Louise's courses before, and they're fantastic, but it was such a friggin' joy to meet her in person. She is just such a shining light. And I also got to buy one of her paintings, which I feel so lucky. Bridget Esselmont did an awesome workshop as well on trying to decide between shiny and new ideas and tried and true business strategies, which was so helpful, because sometimes I feel very distracted by shiny things, and then sometimes I get really stayed and stuck in the tried and true. It was really helpful framework for deciding, making the decision of the balance of shiny and tested tactics in your business. Oh gosh, I could just keep going on. Michelle Smith from Aussie Biz Chick, which is a subscription box, and they send out business books and subscriptions, like stationery, every single month. I've had my goal workbooks in there as well. She spoke about building her business in the space of 2.5 years. She's built a 7-figure business, and she's fucking phenomenal. Holy shit, so fantastic. Tash is just a friggin' queen. She so beautifully held the space for people and made things actionable and got people implementing in such a amazing way. I didn't stay for the night speaker, so I missed out on Natasha Bamblett speaking again, which is a bummer, but I only have so much energy that I can put out during a day. Who else? Oh yeah, Denise did a Sacred Money Archetypes workshop as well. It was short, but holy shit, it was so powerful, and I felt like, when you feel personally attacked by content. I was like, oh my God, why is she calling me out on my behavior? About my money and how I deal with it. I tend to fall in the accumulator and maverick parts of the archetypes. It's such a useful framework. You can take her quiz for free, and she's got a lot of free content on it as well on top of her course. Sinead Carey did a workshop as well. There was others. I can't remember them all, but it was just freaking delicious and divine. And I felt super lucky as well. I had an assistant with me the whole time I was there, just to help me with making sure that I was taken care of, because I can get quite overstimulated in stimulating environments. Who would have thought? And so I felt so lucky to have my bestie Maddie there to get me just to make sure that I was staying hydrated and getting food and all that kind of stuff, because sometimes at events it can be trickier for me to do that, especially because it's a real joy to meet people who've read my work or taken my courses or whatever, and they want to talk to me, and I love that. I love giving hugs and signing books and all that kind of stuff, and it just means that it's a bit trickier sometimes to manage to get to get tea or snacks or whatever. So I'm very grateful that I had had assistants there with me as well. I just feel so grateful. So I know I'm just fucking raving, but who wouldn't, honestly? And all my local mastermind group was there as well, and it was just so nice just looking around the room and just seeing all these people that I could, that I feel safe and connected to, and all that beautiful stuff. At one point I just got really tired and Tash was sitting on the floor. So I went and just had a little nap on her lap. But bless her, she had to do some talking afterwards on the microphone. So somebody just brought her the microphone and she talked from the floor while I was having a little nap. Because she's nothing but a nurturer, and she's like, guys, I can't get up. Here's the information you need to know. I can't get up because Leonie's taking my nap. Oh, golly. Being just, kind of in women-centered space is just an enormous blessing. It's so nourishing and inspiring in a way that is hard to find in other places. I immediately just bought a ticket to go to... Oh, no, we're both stuck. I'm just trying to find a car park. I immediately bought another ticket, and I just feel like, oh my God, I can't believe that I just get to see all my friends again next year. What a treat. What a freaking treat, guys. And hopefully I'll see friends before then as well, but it's just so nice to have it locked in the diary, like, oh, every year at this time I'm going to see friends. Oh, I can't find a car park. All right, I'm going to love you and say goodbye because I need to find a car park. Okay, bye! One more thing I forgot to mention. So I got Adam from Film Tree to come in and record the workshop that I ran on how to create raving fans that buy from you for decades, and I've put that plus all of my slide deck, my companion workbook, and all of my conference illustrated notes from everybody else's workshops. I put it all together for you as a freebie. So if you want to get my workshop for free, go to leoniedawson.com/heart and you will find it there. Hello. Please go have a little look-see. I think you'll have the most amount of fun watching that workshop. It goes for about 40 minutes or so. Superb. I just wanted to give as much content and usefulness about my experience with building a 7-figure company after all these years. So go check that out, leoniedawson.com/heart, so I can sprinkle some conference magic on you. Okay, bye.